Welcome to the first video episode of Dan's Bird Bites. And today people have been asking me, how do I get started with bird feeding, which is kind of a large question, but I wanted to show in a very short and sweet video the simple steps you can take to attract the most birds for probably the least amount of money too, so you don't have to invest hundreds and hundreds of dollars into it. So just a few quick steps in terms of feeders and then food. I have two of each. So if you're looking to get started, this would be where I would if I were you. If you were looking to get some cardinals, some woodpeckers, a variety, but at the same time, you don't need 12 bird feeders. This is a good place to start. So the first thing I'd recommend is that you invest in what we would call a hopper feeder in the bird feeding world. So a hopper feeders, they can vary, but if you go to any local bird store, this is one of my favorites, you're basically looking at a sturdy bird feeder where you're going to be able to put a lot of seed in the middle of it. And the key for this thing is that it's nice and sturdy, so you're not only going to just get the house finches and the goldfinches, they will come to this, but it's also heavy enough to support some of my favorite birds, which would be cardinals, blue jays, you name it. And I would recommend getting one of these, some sort of variety of this, so you can simply stock it up. I've got a big bag of sunflower seed. Now this is the best deal you're going to find if you have a Costco membership. I think this is 30 pounds of essentially mostly black oil sunflower seed, which is my top choice for you. Remember, black oil sunflower seed. If you buy no other bird feed, start there, because that's what your cardinals, finches, your nuthatches, they all love sunflower seed, especially in the winter. It's full of nice fats for them. They love that. So I recommend, if you are a Costco member, get this big old 30-pound bag of cardinal blend, and it's about $20 to $25. So it'll last you forever. Invest in this and then put it in your hopper feeder and hang that up. That's step number one. And you can stop there and you'd get a lot of cardinals, finches, you name it. It would be really, really a rewarding experience. And also you can hang this. Of course, it has a hanger on the top, but you could also invest in a system where you're putting it on a pole. They're pretty flexible, so I'd recommend that. The second thing, and a really cheap option, is to invest in a suet feeder. I would say I already have the suet cake in there, but this is a really cheap. You can go to a hardware store, bird store, and the suet feeder, just a simple cage like this, is going to cost you maybe somewhere in the $5 to $10 range. And it's just a simple little, I'll open it up right here. It's just a simple little cage where you put a suet cake in there. And suet cakes are ridiculously cheap. We're talking $1 to maybe $4 or $5. And suet is basically, it's fat, and birds really like that. In particular, I recommend this in your starting kit if you want woodpeckers. Downy woodpeckers really like this. You'll see red-bellied woodpeckers likely, a wide variety, but you'll also see maybe even cardinals and blue jays liking the suet too, but primarily for the woodpeckers. This is a nice little supplement that can go along with your hopper feeder. So to summarize, this all together, if you were to do something like this, should cost you probably less than $100, so you're not sinking a lot of money into it. Get yourself a hopper feeder, black oil sunflower seed, maybe some safflower seed mixed in, but black oil is going to be where you can't go wrong. You'll get dozens of different types of birds with that alone. And then get yourself a cheap suet cake, something good, something fatty for the birds, and then hang this up right next to it, and then you'll get woodpeckers. You should be getting a ton of different birds for less than $100, and this bag will last you forever. And the suet cakes, those go for weeks on end, and then they don't really spoil too. Make sure you get the no melt variety if you're in some sort of hot climate, so they don't melt through the cage. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of Bird Bites. More to come, and this is a great place to get started if you're looking to get into bird feeding.